Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 136. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Mondays with Mello, and today we're talking about how the world inspires me daily. So, before I start, I'm going to toss a little quote here. What inspires me most are people who imagine and implement solutions to challenges in their own lives, in their communities, in our country, and around the world. Chelsea Victoria Clinton. Okay. Yeah, I just realized that the name was at the bottom of the quote here. So, anyway, um, every day, I'm inspired by the world to, continually write new content, from, you know, the blogs to the books and even this great podcast that I love doing. There's so much that I immerse myself in, and pretty much it's all worth it for me. And the question I ask people is what inspires them daily so they can find their love and their passion. And when I say the world inspires me, it can be anywhere from something I see while I'm out to people I meet and have engaging conversations. It varies where my inspiration comes from, but the good thing for me is I let things come to me. I don't necessarily force it, and that's what allows me to keep writing the content that I do, and it allows me to keep my content fresh and new on a daily basis. And for me, I've allowed myself to have more fun with this process than, to be stuck in a rut, stressed, wondering, worrying. Yeah, I used to be that way, at least for like the first 2 years of this whole journey. And as time went on, I made a decision that I wasn't going to drive myself nuts. And now I'm kind of stretching this out a little bit longer because I want to do something that a lot of other authors haven't done, which is like travel to like different countries and like write books there. I don't know how that's going to work out, but uh, that's something that I definitely want to do because I think like to experience other cultures and meet other people, it will spark more ideas, and give me more fuel and content to keep creating. But I do write about a lot of social issues, and while the content is hard to write about, I have made a turn for some change, in my writing. So I am writing more content that will inspire and bring forth more change. And, writing Living Life to the Fullest, which is one of, a few of my standalone books, it was my start into changing the realm of my writing a little bit. And while it does tackle social issues, the title of the book, speaks volumes and it grabs people's attention, which was pretty much my intention, obviously. And I wrote it from a different perspective. And, hopefully it will allow readers to understand life and its importance to pretty much live life to the fullest. That, tomorrow's not guaranteed, nothing's guaranteed. As I'm recording this, I just found out that, an NBA player at age 25 literally just passed away. And it was crazy because I saw it on another friend's post on Instagram. And then the next thing kind of shifted into, man, I watched that whole guy's college career. So, to sit and like watch players develop and become great and get drafted and then like a few years later you're gone. Yeah. So it's kind of why I write books like Living Life to the Fullest. And when I say the world inspires me, I'm a watcher, observer, listener, and I utilize my senses to feel what's going on around me. And granted, I'm always immersed in music. That's my calming factor. Well, unless I'm engaged in conversation with other people. Music allows me to kind of slow down a little bit, especially when I'm listening to ambient music or electronic, where there are no words. It's just instrumentals. And I'm in this like big phase of lo-fi music now. I don't know what it is, but lo-fi music really like slows my mind down and it helps me to write like immensely. I was in the electronic ambient flow for a good 3 years, and I think within the past year, I still listen to that music. But the lo-fi music, man, when I tell you, like, I find like all these artists and all these music albums and all that stuff, I just don't have time to listen to it. But yeah, I get inspired by that too. And my stories come from watching the world, people's experiences, my own personal experiences, and all of the social stigmas that are pushed on us, and the societal brainwashing that's engulfed and encompassed in our minds for far too long. It's been going on for so long that you start to wonder what the truth is and what are lies, right? And you get all these things pushed on you, all these agendas, and all of this divide that's going on in this world, because that's what the majority of it is. But anyway, I'm not here to delve into all of that, but I'm always trying to push the envelope, but I'm also trying to change the narrative of how we perceive each other. So it's stepping out of your shoes and stepping into other people's shoes, and I think that's what we forget to do in this world on a daily basis. So at the end of the day, let the world bring you joy, happiness, motivation, and inspiration, even when things don't seem to be the greatest. And I mean, all I can do is really try my hardest to continually write the blogs, the great stories, and also record these great podcasts, these pretty solid podcasts about what goes on my mind, and how I go about a lot of things, and the journey that I'm on. And my ideas come from so many different realms and so many different places. I mean, I can be poolside and an idea comes to me. I can be in the gym. I can be writing something else and something else comes to mind, and then I get inspired. A perfect example is I'm writing one book right now, and I wrote a couple of lines, and I'm like, damn, those are some great lines. And then you realize that it's going to sound better in another book with another character. So I cut it out of that, created a new document for that book specifically, and plugged it in there so I can remember it for later on. See how that works? It's just that simple for me. I've had like phone conversations with family members or friends or acquaintances or whatever the case is, and a book idea will come to me there. I can be around family, around friends, and we're talking about social issues, or we're just talking about life in general, and an idea comes to me. I've met strangers, and book ideas will come to me that way. The reality of it is that the world has become my oyster, and it's not just me watching TV all the time. I don't really watch the news, to be brutally honest. I get a lot of my information from just reading articles in general. I try to get unbiased articles to read, but that's a little bit more of a harder, more challenging thing to do these days, because everything is so convoluted. But that's another story for another time. But I let things come to me, and because I'm empathic, that's just another realm of like who I am. So I guess that's partly why I'm able to write a lot of the stories that I do, because I feel for people. I'm very empathetic. I do have compassion for a lot of things that are going on around us, and I just feel like it's my obligation to write a lot of these stories. And I want my stories to, live on. I want this podcast to live on. When I, retire from podcasting, which is who knows when, I want these podcasts to be a blueprint for other authors, other writers, other creators to create something similar to mine or even better than mine. because I'm so entrenched in wanting to see other people be successful. So if you're a creator, let the world kind of give you the ideas, go to different places, explore different areas. I'm someone who, when I go to another city, and I've spent a lot of time in Los Angeles, I will literally walk different beaches. I will literally walk the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I will literally walk around certain areas just to get a feel for things. I will ride the subway trains and go to different places and get a feel for the ambiance and, the people, and that inspires me there too. Staying at different Airbnbs, staying Airbnbs alone, staying Airbnbs with other people, talking to people, meeting people, and the ideas come to me endlessly. The majority of my ideas come to me when I'm alone, and something happened in my day, and then boom, idea comes, and before I know it, I've got to write it down in one of my notes in my phone, and then I come back to it later, and then I'll remember, okay, that's how that idea came to me. So I want all of you creators to continually allow the world to inspire you, because that's what's going to allow you to tell your stories, whether it's through art, painting, drawing, writing, music, whatever it is, because creators are the ones who allow the stories to keep the world moving and keep the world going. So with that said, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening as always. Have a good week, be good, and go and accomplish your goals.